Hello, Tribe of Elephants. Welcome to day 14 of 365 Days of Inspiration, The Art of Becoming an Elephant. Today we're going to talk about the true truth. Stick around. Hi guys. Today we're going to talk about something I call the true truth. Anybody who has come and worked with me or come to any of the classes that I've taught have all heard me talk about the true truth. You say, what is the true truth? I don't understand what you're talking about. Are you talking about the true truth with God? Are you talking about the true truth? It's very simple. I'm talking about the truth. Just that. Well, what version of the truth? The version of the truth. So we're going to talk a little bit about the true truth, and we're going to use the 4 agreements. Well, actually, we're just going to use the first agreement. The first agreement is speak in the direction of truth and of love. Never use the word to speak against yourself or of others. Now, this is not my book. It's not my concept. It's by a man named Don Miguel Ruiz, and you can look up this book, but I do teach it. 95% of my students, I do have them go pick up this book, read it, and send it to their family members. Let me tell you a little story, because you guys know I love to tell stories. Once upon a time, there was a little girl, and her name was Frankie, and she was married to this super hot guy, right? And this super hot guy went and got this job at this place that sells fashion clothing. Now, Frankie, being who she is, usually will be in a hoodie sweatshirt. She will usually be wearing something very comfortable because that's the way she likes to dress. She just likes to dress comfortably. And this guy, will name him her husband, and he really likes to dress up in all kinds of great outfits. Now, he's got great fashion sense and she doesn't. So he goes and he gets this job. And he's working with all these very young girls. And let's just say the girls are much younger than she is. And very much more fashion savvy than she is. So he goes and he starts working at this job, and she starts to feel a little bit insecure. So she starts to get cranky and crabby, kind of snapping, and he's, doing text messages with the girls at work, because they're asking him questions about work, and she asks, who are you texting? And he says, oh, I'm texting so-and-so from work. And she goes, okay. And as she watches him text more and more throughout the days, she gets more and more angry. Now, the reason she gets more and more angry and starts to become more and more hostile is because her brain starts working overtime, starts making up stories. As time goes on, she begins to pick at him. And every time he picks up his phone and starts texting somebody from work about a work thing, she gets upset and she gives him a hard time. Now, does she want him to have a job? Absolutely. Does he want to have a job? Yes, he does. Was he grateful that he got to go work at a place that does what he enjoys? Absolutely. Was she making it harder for him? Absolutely. Now, at some point in time, Frankie had had relationships that had gone bad before. So Frankie thought to herself, I better get to the true truth here and find out what's really going on so that I can speak in the direction of truth and love. That she had to get down to the true truth, because the true truth was the one thing that was going to set her free. Now, saying the snide comments and remarks that she was saying was not being impeccable with her word. When we're not impeccable with our word, when we are lying to ourselves or lying to others, we're causing pain and we're causing damage. So let's just say that Frankie went into, let's just cut the crap. So I went into my shower and I thought, I'm going to take a shower because if I keep saying things, I'm probably just going to be a jerk. Now, don't get me wrong, I wasn't being abusive, but it was that passive-aggressive type of behavior, where I just wouldn't say anything. And he'd pick up his phone and So I thought, okay, I'm going to go in and I'm going to take a shower. And I started taking a shower and I started thinking, what's the true truth? My head said all kinds of things like, he's ignoring you. And you're not getting what you deserve from him at this time. And he's paying more attention to his job than to you. I started to make myself into the victim. And believe me, that was an easy place for me to go. I could have easily gone and said, you need to pay more attention to me. I'm feeling lonely. It's your fault. I could have done any of that. But every time I thought about that and thought about saying that, it was like, no, I've already said stuff like that. And really, that didn't clear up the feeling inside. It didn't resonate as the truth. And the more I followed it backwards, well, what would make me feel this? And what would make me think this? And what really starts me feeling upset? And it all got down to, I don't like fashion, and he does. And I was afraid that he was going to like some of these girls more because they were into fashion and I wasn't. Also, age. I'm older than my husband, so I thought, well, he might want one of these girls, because they're younger than me. And then I also thought, maybe he's going to think one of them are prettier than me. So it got down to really what was I afraid of? And what I was afraid of was losing him. And so when I got down to the true truth, I thought, I can't walk out and say all of these things. But then I also remembered that when I started reading the 4 agreements and I started implementing it into my life and started teaching it, it really worked. And so in order for me to really be all about this, I had to follow through on what I would say. And I had to practice what I preached to other people. And like most things that we preach, when it's easy to do it, it's easy to do it. But when it's hard to do it is when it really has the most power. So I went out and I said, here's the true truth. The true truth is I feel insecure. I'm afraid that you're going to like these girls more because they like fashion and I dress in sweats. And I have my hair up most of the time. And I'm afraid you're going to think one's prettier than me. I was also, I forgot this, I was also afraid that one of them might have more money and, he would want to be with them because, whatever. So I told him all of these things and I got to tell him my true truth. And I also got to apologize and tell him that I loved him. And the true truth was just that I was afraid of not being good enough because in my own mind, I was never good enough. And that's not the same anymore. I am very much good enough now. But at this time, it was many years ago. It was over a decade ago. And he just looked at me and he said, honey, if I wanted one of those girls or somebody else, I know that I could do that. But I don't. I want you because I love who you are and I love your heart. And that just kind of put it all straight for me. I didn't have to go through more hours or days or weeks of being jealous when all I really needed to tell him was just that I was afraid. I got to clear it all up and never bothered me again because we got to the true truth. And so that's what I'm going to tell you today. Get to your true truth. When you start to feel disturbed, stop and follow yourself backwards. Ask yourself questions. Why am I disturbed? And if it doesn't really feel like the truth, ask again. When you hit it, you'll know. And then find out how can you be impeccable with your word. And again, the first agreement is be impeccable with your word. Speak in the direction of truth and of love. And don't use the word to speak against yourself or to speak against others. So that's today's. Just what's the true truth? What's the first agreement? We're going to do more of these agreements. Probably do more on the first agreement later too. But for now, I think that's enough. Have the best day. And remember, subscribe. Give me a thumbs up if you love this. Thumbs up. And share these videos. That's all I have for today. See you later, elephants.
Hi, I'm Franki Doll-Olinger. I would like to thank Rent-A-Friend for sending Madison over so I look like I got friends. Subscribe to my channel. That's what, you want to say anything?
No, you won't regret it. That's all I gotta say.
Money well spent.